hello again. Thanks for clicking on to what is going to be another trip around St Andrews, and if it seems a little bit rough on the terrain, that's because it is. Effectively, I'm walking along the pier and I've got to watch where I'm putting my feet because, well, I didn't want to fall in. So, for this part of the video today, what we're going to do is we're looking at the beaches of St Andrews. So this is probably episode number 5. You keep count. But what we're saying here is that this is a lovely walk. This is walking along the pier. Now don't ask me anything about history because, well, I know nothing about history. I am what they call, in the business, pretty damn thick. Not politically correct, I suppose, nowadays, but, well, when I was at school, I was the only one who got my finger stuck in the desk. And the Janny, or the janitor, had to call him along with 3-in-1 oil and try and get my thumb out of said hole. And that's probably the stretch of my education from school. It wasn't great. But what is great is the time and the fun that we had at the beach. With loads to choose from. This, at the end of the day, memory serves correct, this is the East Sands. So as a kid, we didn't spend a huge amount of time along here. If we did, it usually would have been in the summertime, or it probably would have been round about school time. If I was ticking it from school, skiving is another word, dogging it. Wait a minute. Dogging doesn't mean what it means now. Dogging means skipping school, skiving, not being there. You should be at school. Why you're not at school? That's called skiving. And if I was skiving, well, this is where we probably came. Because school was only about a mile away. It was good fun. And this is the end of the pier. Now, there is some brave ones who would jump off it for fun. I believe my brother probably did, but I did not have the bottle. And to be honest with you, there's no danger that I would even do it now. I mean, why would I? Isn't that lovely? Isn't that lovely? How picturesque is that? Many a painting, many a photograph, all of that view. The ruins of the cathedral. Again, not particularly bright. That's probably from 1140. And then it all went to rack and ruin, like the rest of the town all went to rack and ruin. And then lo and behold, someone discovered golf. Then when they discovered golf, that's when things started to pick back up again. And then when this pier all fell to bits, and because the castle fell to bits, they said, let's just take all the ruins from the castle and rebuild the pier. So effectively, when you're walking along this pier, you are walking the bricks, if you like, of the castle. Never noticed that before. What a lovely memorial it is too. Now I think if I had my wellies on today, wellies being Wellington boots, I probably would have gone down onto this sand. As I say, it's been a lot of years since I've been down there. I'm not going down there today. I've not got my boots, I've not got my wellies, I've not got my bucket and spade. So as I say, that's the East Sands. And here's a little look at the West Sands. So every June, I think it's every June there is the Chariots of Fire race. Now, if you remember the Chariots of Fire, the film, yep, based in St Andrews. And you want to see an iconic beach? Mind you, Rowan Atkinson during the Olympics, apparently, was running across here as we nod the Chariots of Fire. Nice, isn't it? Sorry, I should be posh there. Nice, isn't it? This is the very end. This is the tipping point of St Andrews. This is the point when you go, isn't this magic? For me as a child, the memories of this place, quite simply, is this is when our folks used to come for the afternoon, because they used to work in the hotel trade, and they used to come, and the beer, the tins of coke, so the beer and the tins of coke all went into the water to keep cool, and this is where we sunbathed. This was our spot. So without question, this is St Andrews' biggest problems. Quite simply, and it's a coastal thing, it's not just Fife. Anywhere there's a coastline and there's these beautiful sea waves, is that this. That's it, the tide's coming in, and the tide is eroding the coastline. So for everybody that says to me, what is the best beach in Fife? Now, I'm going to take you to Ely, we're going to go to Pitt and Meem, we're going to go to Crail, we've been to Tentsmuir, we've been to Aberdour, we've been to Burnt Island, but personally, for me, this is my favourite beach. And this is Elephant Rock. Now, we're not really doing it an awful lot of justice, to be honest with you, because clearly the tide is coming in. However, when the tide is out, you can walk quite a bit, let's be honest with you. Now this rock, I think this is the Elephant Rock, or is it the other one? I can't remember, because one of them used to look like an elephant. But this one you can actually climb in it. Little cove. Now I can put some photographs on. What we're also going to do is to see my initials still carved on one of those rocks. I'm going to go with no, to be honest with you. This is when you get nervous for me, and rightly so. Don't put car keys in there in case I fall in. It'll be the first time. Generally wouldn't be the first time. Here we go. something about being in your 60s and becoming very careful when you put your feet. I wonder why. Look at this stone, isn't this gorgeous? You don't appreciate it when you're younger. It's even got little footwells for you to put your feet. I mean, who needed a climbing frame? Who needed a park? You've got this. So there's some people here, got some carvings going on. Let's have a look. Someone's drawn a nutty shape. I've done that in my day. Here's P and C. We're not going to shoot the nutty picture. There you go, Sam, you're famous. Yeah, I'm very vigilant of where I'm putting my feet. So generally, when the tide is out, you can walk through these gaps. Now, to be fair, it's not Lake Garda. Is that Lake Garda? We'll go there one day. It's not the Caribbean. This is the Caribbean. I am very watchful of where I'm putting my feet. So here we go. I said that we would come back when the tide was out, and the tide is indeed out. Now here we are back at Elephant Rock. You can see the view behind. Basically there's no water to my left, there's no water to my right. Thank God. Basically I'm a bit scared. See that James Bond film where Daniel Craig is walking along that building, just about to shoot the baddies? Well, God knows how he done that, because I can't even do this. But hey, the tide's out. I'm not going to drown. I'm just going to crack my head on one of these rocks. But the last time we were here, we were knee deep in water, and the rock was knee deep in water too. And again, showing my age, it's very strange. Not strange. What's the word I'm looking for? Very weird to see that this thing is eventually going to corrode away because it's hanging on by the skin of its teeth. And unfortunately, probably in the next 80 years or so, it's going to be big huge walls, sea defence systems, because hopefully the town isn't going to erode away. But hey ho, none of that gash. Look at this. Not wishing to be too morbid or nothing, but when I pop my clogs, apparently my ashes are getting chucked into a rocket, or a firework, and it's getting blown up over the Elephant Rock. The only reason why I'm doing it is to see the laugh that my daughter's going to have to try and light said firework with her husband. I can't get to light that. There we go. Isn't this gorgeous? Isn't this gorgeous? So St Andrew and St Rule, in the 12th century, the church, now known as St Rule's, was built by monks as a fitting place for the relics of St Andrew, which legend says were brought here by a Greek monk. Through time, this place became known as St Andrew's. The saint was then adopted as Scotland's patron, and his cross became Scotland's flag. So I reckon if some Greek fella was sailing along and they got into troppy seas and they said, "Hold on, well, let's just come and stop here, they knew." Because why wouldn't they? This is probably where they landed. Genuinely, this is probably where they landed. And as the rumour has it, and as the legend has it, he carried with him the bones, the remains of what we class as St Andrew. Quite interesting, eh? So that's the end of our little tour of St Andrew's beaches. I hope you enjoyed it. Please, by all means, give us one of those likes, give us a share, and please subscribe. I'm kind of needing them, you know what I mean? It's getting quite bad. I need some subscribers from you, please. But I do hope you enjoyed it. People say, why do you make these videos? Quite simply, I am from St Andrews. It's not just from my personal memory, it's also for people who used to live in St Andrews. It's for people who love the town, people who basically want to get the chance to have a look at it again. They may have been at university here, they may have lived here. I know for a fact that some of my close friends no longer live in the town, and instead they live in far-flung places. But hey, these videos are a wee bit of a help. And if anyone's thinking about moving to St Andrews, anyone's thinking about coming to St Andrews University, by all means, look at my videos, give me a like, give me a subscribe, and I love you forever. Gonna finish off though, and we'll just show you a little bit more of the town, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.